starting to school just as Uboat. I opened two tables of 5 PLO, and what we're going to do on this video is concentrating on loose passive and maybe slightly loose aggressive players that dominate the player pool at these microstakes at PLO in Omaha. And we'll try to play in position, even out of position. It doesn't really matter whether they're left or right, and we'll try to play optimally against these players and try to put them on some kind of range if possible. And I opened table number 1 already, and these two guys have been running really well to my right, whereas me, I have been running horribly. So it should be interesting to see me lose some pots against these fish. Hopefully not. And let's see what happens. I have notes on this player to my right. It says, was he 3-bets with ace SXX type of hand, which is very common with these player pool at microstakes. And it says, I will re-raise with top pair flush draw, will not fold this flush draw. Limps side early position folds to any 3-bets. Well, not ISO raise, but 4-bets. And he tilts. And he keeps he's running so well. He's been connecting with his flush draws, and he's not willing to fold his flush. So something that we need to be aware of. So if we do have the nut flush draw, and he will be willing to get in with like a jack high or even 10 high flush, mid flush. So we will definitely try to get his stack for sure. And 777, not a great board, especially when we don't have any. I mean, not a great board, although we have a full house. I mean, anyone can out kick us, so we can just keep checking back. And hopefully we see a cheap showdown. And if anyone raises, we're gonna fold, because our 3s are no good here. Oh, maybe it is. So maybe I should have started this video a little bit while ago, and I would have ran a little bit better, because I've been running horribly. So we're heads up on a dry board on table number 2, and we have queens. 6s are really crappy. That's 35. C bets 100%. Let's see if he double barrels. If he has aces and kings, I can see him double barreling, but we do have queens. And also, the third nut flush. He seems like a decent player. I am going to 65. Double suited, not that great, so we're gonna fold that. And you know what? Maybe he was raising with a set of 7 of 3s and he just got the boat. We'll fold. I don't know why I have him as a loose aggressive. He has regular stats. 28-19 is pretty decent at these microstakes. Wow. Multi-way, 4-way on table number 1. We have a really junk hand on table number 2 with 4-8, king 9. We'll fold. And this poker tracker 4 these things keep popping up for no reason, so I don't know how to get rid of that. I just got this about 2 months ago, and I still haven't figured poker tracker 4 out completely. I'm lagging too, jeez. No, 3-5-3-2 is a fold. I'm not gonna end up calling him up. I'm gonna be calling this hand. We have a dangler of 9's double suited, and we have a good chance to flop top set, not flush draw. But not that great here. We just have top pair, and there's a possible flush draw to the spades, which we don't have. So we're going to be giving up that flop, especially multi-way. If it's heads up, I don't know. It's debatable whether we can call, but I mean, we can definitely float. We do have a gut shot straight draw, but oh, jeez, 35 cents. I mean, he bet multi-way. I'm gonna be folding this. Yeah, this we would need a 10 for gutter. No. Actually, our table number 2 is not great. Very fishy. Very fishy players on table number 2. Not a very great table, but you know what? Let's stick with it for the sake of the video. And maybe we can up the aggression and see what we can do. Let's fold 3 bet. And we have very tight players. Now regulation tight players to our right on table number 2. We have a loose passive on to our left and tight here. So let's stick with this table, and I'm not gonna select for a different table, and we'll see how we do against these players. And this guy's just so aggressive, and he's been running so well. And I hope this guy has king of hearts, and I hope he keeps barreling. See, this pop-up keeps showing up, which is really messing me up when I move my mouse over it. I will fold that. Checks, and then he's gonna barrel again. No, he didn't. Wow, see, he's been running just phenomenally. No, that's the thing about Polygonoma. It gives these players, and the reason, usually I would fold that hand, but I'm raising to play in position against these fish. And very likely that these two players are going to fold, and we can play in position against these two who will call because the VPIP is so high. And 8-6, and we don't flop a very good flop, which is within their range, their fishy calling range. So we're going to just chip back. Get a 10. We do have a gutter, but not worth bluffing here. And definitely, I mean, he could have had a 7-9 XX within his range, so we're gonna fold that. So that's something to be aware of, like, be aware of your position, be aware of where the loose passive fish are, and increase your chances of playing in position against these fish. And on this one, you know what? I'm gonna overplay this, and we do have a loose passive. And tripling, not in position, out of position. We do have enough flush draw and gutter to the straight. We get it in. And he'll probably call a re-raise. And we hit the nuts, but remember, we gotta think about our reverse implied odds, but I think we're very far ahead. And we do still have the nut flush draw. I'm gonna take that down. And remember always to keep constantly labeling your opponents. It does help you identify them on the fly. King, ooh, geez, trashy kings. 15 cents. We're out of position. That's a tough one, and we do have some side cards. We're going to call. And I would prefer to have suited kings here. But we do have nice connected side cards. That's the reason why I called. Although we're out of position, we have a chance to hit top set and maybe some kind of rundown. But we hit a really bad flop. Definitely not a flop that we're going to lead out. And they check back. We're fairly ahead of here, 45 cents. And he calls. Cents. I think we're fairly far ahead, unless he has a jack. Then good for you. He has been passive post flop. And if he raised me again, jeez. He did this to me before. Jeez, so tempted to call him. You know what? He's hasn't been very aggressive on the river. It's just too big. And I just hate the fact that I'm lagging right now. Maybe there's something else. Queen A10 10 will fold. That's right. And Queen A7 we will call. We're not going to raise from out of position. We're going to call this one. Just call. Some 6 and we hit a bad flop. And on this video, it's kind of good because I'm running fairly bad. And we will fold that. I'm running horribly today. Check back. And it's kind of good because like I think most of the videos I've been running quite well. And I've been running very well in the last, I say most of 2013. So this is kind of nice. Well, not nice, but it's nice for the video to see me getting maybe stacked. Hopefully not, but you never know. Especially when I'm deep stacked too. And you want to be deep stacked when you're to the right of these fish. And I hope he's not leaving. Please do not leave. And he left with 600 big blinds. And that's monochrome flop. Oh, geez, kind of it's his calling range. King 10, we do have a gutter, but we're gonna check back on this one. If it wasn't so connected on that flop, if that was say maybe like a 5, that means I would probably try to bluff that flop, but we can just check back. Just check back. Yeah, my range has been off today, and also my just haven't been hitting the flop very well. We'll fold table number 2. Okay, and table number 2. So we do have that loose passive fish on top, and we have these tight players to our right. And when we are in position, say on the button, and these players make a raise, we'll try to start maybe re-raising and see what they do, how they respond to us. We're out of position against this player. He's tight. I'm gonna raise it. Get him to fold. And he called, and a good spot. Middle pair, no one's gonna fold. To receive it, sir. I will fold. 10 queen. We have a mate straight and a flush draw. We're definitely not getting out on that. We got out. We got 2 pair, and he's been checking back. So tight pass play and they fold. Good. I think he might have some ace XX hand, and him, I have no idea with this guy. I can never put these guys in range. I'm gonna re-raise this passive fish. This one we're not gonna be playing position with anyone, so we'll fold, and he called again. Straight 60 cents fold pot. Naked flush draw. We have over pair. No, we'll fold. Fold this hand. If you had suited ace, we would definitely raise. And for those who have been following Being the PLO Micros, after a couple of months of playing, I hope all of you are used to the starting hands and getting used to playing post flop. And the nice thing about playing pot limit Omaha is, although we do have an edge when we play our starting hands properly, it PLO does give the fish a chance to win, which causes them to come back to the game and to reload. So, it's if you do pick PLO as your main game, I don't think I think you picked the right game because it's always exciting. It's never boring. Even when you get sucked out, I mean, it happens. It's part of Polynomial where it's a drawing game where we're getting a stack sim where we have a better draw over a made hand. So sometimes we're not going to win all of those. Eight, nine, queen, three. We are going to fold. We still have this fish who hasn't sat back in. So we check back. 3, 5, 10. Now check back. On this hand, we are going to fold. We do have a passive player who will call any open raise. We had a really crappy hand in position. And even when you do have these kind of crappy hands, I would avoid making any those auto check call things or fold. Because when people fold, you can always raise to seal against the big blind. The type player who raises in position will fold. And I think it's just ISO raising. And ISO raising, I think a lot of people bring it from no limit, hold them. In Polynomial, you just don't want to ISO raise for the sake of ISO raising. You just want to raise for value, nothing else. In ISO raising, you can get into a world of trouble. And we have a fairly decent hand with Jack 10 Queen, but we do have a dangler. We do have these passive players, so what we're going to do is we're going to be out of position, playing out of position for these players, but we'll raise, and fortunately we take the pot down. I'm going to fold this one. It's just not a good hand. No. No. Fold that. It's passive. Everyone's labeled. Seems like a wreck. I do have it as a wreck. Suited aces, we're at the cutoff. The side cards are not very great. And you raise, you will fold. And just remember, when you're playing these opening hands, make sure that your side cards are well connected if you do decide to open raise or call. And make sure that you have nothing less than a suited hand. This one, we're early position, this kind of sucks. It's a really trashy hand. I mean, when you look back at it, it's not suited to the ace. Okay, this is what I mean. So when we're folded to, we have a decent hand. We're going to raise and try to take this hand out pre-flop. And we have a dry board. When we did raise, we can rep aces. Let's see what happens. No any calls. Now I'm about to give this up. We do have a open ender, but I'm not going to fold this one again. Back. He probably has ace XXX maybe. And that's definitely a bet for value. We'll not call that hand. Fold this one, easy fold. Table number 2. And we're not getting very good hands right now. We're not getting any suited hand with suited aces with decent side cards. When we do get decent side cards, seems like we're not flopping very well. Definitely at the cutoff. I mean, some people may think that Jack Queen is very decent with suited to the Queen, but it's not. So for is an awful dangler to have with absolute no connectivity. Fold. we don't have good enough hands. So like say if one of these, this Glorian or Thiamge open raises, we haven't been having decent hand to 3-bet. So nothing so far in these hands. And when you do get these kind of days where you just don't flop well and you're just running not very good, just stay patient. You don't have to overplay your hands because your time will come. The key thing to doing well in Omaha is patience. Well, when we get re-raised all your all-in flop, very big flop, then oh, so he raised, he bet, he re-raised, and he went all in. Kings. So I must have kings. Yep, kings. And not bad. You know what? I'm gonna raise since we do have those two passive players here. When he raises and he calls, I know I got some. Oh, so easy fold. Ace, and I bet he has queens. He's been running quite well also. And we're gonna fold this. He probably has ace, and we have ace in our hand, which devalues, which decreases the strength of our hand, so we're gonna fold. Yeah, and having top pair, it's not very strong on the flop. So whenever someone re-raise you and you have aces, you fold because you're gonna be almost dead. Big blind. Hopefully we get a chance to see the flop. We have a decent chance to flop big, and we don't. Gosh, it's just been raining horrible today. 8. We do have a wrap, but you know there's a mate boat, so we're not gonna bet. An easy fold after that. 9-8 4 jack and small blind's a horrible hand, so we're gonna fold. And yeah, like again, if you're running bad, just stay patient. Don't tilt, don't overplay your hands, and that's an easy way to lose a lot of buy-ins, especially in part limit Omaha. Table number 1. Geez. If I had suited aces, I'd call with a pair of tens. We do have pot odds, but 10's not going to give us our top set, and we have nothing nutty here multi-way. When you are playing multi-way like this in position, you want some suited aces or something higher pairs, like say queens or kings or jacks. I'm gonna fold that hand. This hand will call. Flop top. Shoot. Jeez. I am running bad. Check that. And we're gonna definitely call this hand against the fish. Well, I can't call it fish anymore. I'm the one who's playing like a fish right now, it seems like. And we'll definitely have to raise 3x on table number 2. And the 3 bets. Jeez. We can't call that. We have to fold. We're a very wet board here, multi-way, although we have aces. We're not going to call that. I mean, we're not going to bet into that flop. It's mate straight and potential flush draw. We're going to just check back. If it was heads up, I would definitely bet into it, but multi-way, I'm just checking back. Table number one's interesting again. This is, I think it's, whoa, it's the flush, 6 high flush. See, so that's what you have to be aware of. This guy had the 4 high flush, and he was willing to get all in with that. He did go all in. Yeah. All in. Oops. Let's see. And this one's an easy fold. Just too wide of a board to call any of those bets. Yeah, since we have some time, I mean, since we're not getting the hands, I've been playing quite a bit this August, especially from the beginning of the month till now. I think I put in maybe close to 20,000 hands. And I've been running very good until today. Like I can't remember the last time I've just been just. Although I did have that time when I got stacked 6 times by a loose aggressive player. But since then, I haven't ran as bad as I have been today. It's unfortunate because, like, when you're making these videos, you want to kind of run good and have you dealt a lot of hands where you can see a lot of action going on. But I guess we will have days like this once in a while. And one thing I would really recommend is if you are playing PLO and if this is your main game, make sure you're solidly rolled for these stakes. If you're playing, say, 5 PLO, I would probably recommend something in the order of maybe like 150, maybe more, $250 sometimes. Because 20 binds, I mean, you can lose that so fast playing Polynomial. 30 bind, you're on the borderline. 40 bind to 50 bind is where I would kind of feel comfortable so that when you do need to get it in, you won't hesitate. Whereas if you're if you're playing with marginal bankroll, you're not going to be playing optimally in this game. So one thing I would recommend is make sure you're solidly rolled. If you're not, I mean, if you have $150, start with 2 PL and work your way up. And if you do have if you're not in the United States and if you do have access to like PokerStars, and I think Bovada also started those fast tables too, just avoid those. I know I've played in past videos, but okay, we got who's passing? Not enough. If that 3 wasn't there, if it was maybe like an 8, I would definitely 3 bet and hopefully fold out behind the cutoff and play heads up against the passive fish. Yeah, and it's nice to see a couple of members grinding Paladin Omaha lately. There's a new member and also Charles CF Natural. And I hope they find it as fun as I did when they started grinding Paladin Omaha. Now, it's always a challenge playing post flop with all the different combinations. Ah, he raised again. Doesn't matter. Oh, top top two. Oh, nice. This is not that. Oh no. And we're not going to isolate, we'll just call that on flop with kings. And we have the naked flush draw. We're going to just call the draw. Although there's a possible boat or maybe trips. I'm going to call against this fish, although he's been running good. I mean, if he barrels again, I mean, if club comes up, I'm not folding, but now I'm folding. You know, sometimes the fish do need their opportunity to run well also. And that's a strong bet, pot size bet. I'm gonna fold. And as you can tell, we're still at $12.50. $12.50. Which doesn't happen very much. And I mean, if you feel confident playing post flop, I would definitely recommend buying in deep, so that when you do get these players who bought in at 12.50 or have stacks that are greater than 100 BBs, you have a chance of stacking them. Will definitely seal 13. So we're just call. We're not going to 3-bet. It's fairly tight, and this is a perfect type of flop to lead out unless he has a flush draw. I think that's a good opportunity to lead out. There's a guy who has 13-7. That definitely doesn't hit his range. Remember, there's also a power of leading out in pot limit Omaha. And no limit, they tend to bluff raise anyone who donks out. But in pot limit Omaha, donking is a fairly strong river. Represents a very strong hand. So I would prefer to lead out than to check raise the flop, if you do have the opportunity to do so. Because also, when you check raise the flop, the turn gets very expensive. And when you lead out on the flop and small calls, and you have a card that improves your hand, or it doesn't really change anything, you can barrel twice without giving in too much of your stacks. Having fours is not. Let's try this one. It's not. It really weakens your whole card, so we're gonna make a fold, because I mean, having a pair of fours, all you get is bottom set, and polynomial is almost close to trash. And here we get to play. Oh, now he re-raised. I was hoping he would call. The reason why I raised in table number 1 with our deuce, 10, king, ace, normally I would fold that at early position, but we do have these fishy players on button and small button. I was hoping that we would be able to play in position against this fish. Even though we're out of position, he is deep stacked, and we do have some implied odds if we do hit the flop hard. But he raised, and no, he does have a tendency to go all in with jack, and I think he's just squeezing us here. I'm gonna fold. I usually play him on ace or king, and with both of those hands, we have one of those hands, and it's such a severe dog. I'm gonna fold. What does he have? Yeah, it's good aces, XX. Even queen XX, never know. He has been shown to go all in with jack XX. Okay, enough of this hand. I'm taking the ball. It's definitely re-raise. Such a strong hand. Even if you get re-raise, I'll just get all in with this. I prefer to have jack 10, 9, 8. Number 2. I am just running horribly. We'll probably go multi-round table number 1. I just can't picture anyone folding. Even if you're in the small blind, I mean, if he has any decent hands, no, get a call. Jeez. We have backdoor flush draw, backdoor flush draw, and a straight draw. We have top pair. We have a gutter. Just check back, because we are out of position against these two players, and we'll see what they do. We'll definitely call him, and we the nuts, and we're going to leave him. And if he bets, we can just call and try to get them to be involved in the river. So we'll bet something close, not too much, maybe 65. I have a feeling he's going to go. No, shoot. And we don't get any colors, unfortunately. But we did take a pot down finally. 5 cents, we can fold that. Yeah, so this summer I did have quite a bit of time to play. Unfortunately, in the next 2 weeks I probably won't. You know what? We have kings and queens, single suited to king. We're gonna be three betting that hand in any position. This one we're gonna call this hand. And we'll call this hand also. We're gonna three bet this guy because I mean he could be raising with aces, and we're gonna call this hand top pair. Well, let's call him and try to get the fish in the pot too. 7-3-3. Oh, jeez. We have a gutter and a flush draw and middle pair. We'll call this hand for sure and take a number 2. We'll check back. Tough spot. Let's check back. And then we will. It's not a bad card to have. We'll call this limp. I don't favor limping if it's. I don't favor limping in, but I don't mind calling in when we have these kind of hand that can flop fairly hard. And we do have two-way gutter here. Check back. This one I'm definitely raising. Hopefully we get called by these two guys. We do have a chance to flop very hard. And call that queen. Check back. I think we're fairly good here, so I'm gonna lead up 40 cents. These first 6 were heads up, 25, so I'll lead out that hand. And take another pot down. Nice. And the regular left, hopefully we get, it gets replaced by another. You know what? This hand, we're going to fold. We have a very tight player calling. We're out of position. We're going to fold that hand. Three, 6 straight. And he pots it. What does he have? Straight, or maybe trips. 59, 22. Okay, what I'm going to do is I think I'm going to fold out these tables. And, geez, we don't have too much action on these tables, but, the key thing is, when you're running bad or you're not getting dealt the right hands, the key thing is to just stay patient and don't overplay any junky hands. And because that's the last thing you want to do. Because even when you're not running well or not getting dealt the right cards, you need to learn to stay patient. And I guess this, although nothing really happened on this video, the key thing is, the key thing to take out of this video is, just stay patient and just stick to your game. And don't overplay any trashy hands and fold when you need to. And just be aware of all your players that are at the table. So I'll try playing another session, maybe at 5 or 10 PLO, and hopefully we get some more passive players so that we can focus on playing against passive players in position and out of position. Right. And we'll fold out these tables. Split this last one. And hopefully we can stack this guy as our final hand. Hopefully he folds or limps, calls a limp. So we don't want to call any raise with this hand. Awesome. So we get a quad of folds. Well, you know what? We didn't flop too bad. Right? So let's pot up. And hopefully we get that guy, my till Nios, whatever his name is, or both guys. Hopefully the diamond doesn't hit on the turn. Oh, no, beautiful. You know what? Let's see what happens. And if he gets a better card than us, let's see what happens. So 230. And he'll probably go all in. And who's got the boat? Wow, what a way to finish. So what do they have? So he had trips. And he had straight. No? He had nothing. Wow, nice. So I'll see you guys on the next videos and hopefully rerun a lot better. See you.